Alright, what's up, yins guys? I'm going to do a video for you today. It's going to be about surveillance, but it's not going to be the same shit you're hearing all the time. The government, which I agree with some of it, the government's putting the wrong people under surveillance and all that stuff. And people are already talking about that thing with the dude that's on the run, that the CIA computer tech guy, he blew the whistle and all that stuff, and he's on the run now or whatever. But I want to talk about surveillance in a different way. I mean, I already did videos and talked about things in blogs on other people's YouTube videos saying that, yeah, I still agree, though, that all that government stuff, you can't trust it, it's wrong and all that. But there's a part of it that I partially agree with surveillance, only if it's done the right way. I mean, well, I even think that some of us yins guys watching, some of us get together, we should have the right to do surveillance. Like maybe some of yins young kids too, because I went to school with a lot of people when I was a teenager. There were a lot of domestic violence going on, and now with the new tech that people can own, everything from camera, cell phones to hidden cameras. Now people like you and me can put hidden cameras inside places and houses. Say you young kids, you're going to school with this dude. Maybe he's your friend, or maybe he's some dude that you dislike, but then one of your friends lives not too far from him. Maybe his mother got divorced, right? And then his mother met some guy in a bar that lied about his whole background in the process of charming her, and he moves in, he becomes a live-in girlfriend, and he ends up sponging off her and says he's this and that, but he never gets a job, and he ends up being a boozer and drunk. Beats him up. Say maybe he's either your friend or maybe he's some dude you kind of dislike, but you, like I said, you live down the street. One of you probably live down the street from this and know this, and this dude is a known what do you call it, the dude that shacks up with this one of your friend's mothers or whatever, ends up being known all over town that he's not a good guy, and he's gonna kill so and so one day. Whether the dude you go into school with is your friend or maybe somebody you don't like very much, but full well, one of you guys live down the street from him or whatever, and you said, what, maybe I don't like this dude, but this shit's got to stop. That guy's going to kill somebody one of these days. And with sometimes in some neighborhoods the police don't do anything and whatever, too. And in some cases you might want to get together and hide cameras in a house and catch the guy and all his shit, because the police always go in there, and and the guy will lie and all that stuff. And I have other things I approve of too. Say if you can gather up the evidence through cameras these days, if one of Ian's friends have a problem like that with somebody, I actually, as long as you get evidence, if the police get into it, if you have to get a bunch of your friends to physically intervene and go over there and confront the guy and beat his ass or whatever. Well, I'm not telling you to go kill anybody or anything, I don't want anybody say having to plead guilty to a lesser charge of involuntary because the guy deserved it, and it escalates and you don't plan to kill anybody. But say if you have to defend, if you happen to be in the area and a bunch of your people hear all kind of shit and have to go in there and take care of the guy, it would be nice to gather some surveillance, and so you guys got the excuse, so that way if the police are coming down on you for assaulting him, you can come back at the police and start a big public thing, and call the news and say, hey, look, this is what we saw, we had to do something. But then there's another thing too I wanted to mention too. Sometimes in these domestic fights, people are married and all that. A lot of times the guy turns into an asshole and is beating up the wife, and then the kid is scared to death of the guy. But in a lot of cases, the woman, you see that on talk shows a lot of times, is aggravating the guy. And I actually have an uncle that was a real dipshit. He didn't have a violent bone in his body, and the one he married, she even showed her true colors sometimes too, and we caught ear of it. ourselves, that, throws pots of hot spaghetti at him for the stupidest little things. And anyway, I had, this uncle of mine, the one he married, punched a window because she was pissed off at some stupid shit, and her wrist got cut because she punched a window, and called the cops on him and said he did it, and then got him arrested and all that crap, you know what I mean? And the police right away, the blood and all that. So in some cases, like, I don't know about you guys, but if I had to be a police officer, I'm not sure if I can do the job, because you can only do so much unless you... If I was a police officer and I was having to go a particular house several times and have to go through the same thing, and you're not allowed to do anything to a point, and there's some kind of rules you got to follow, I'd almost advocate, I'd want to, even if it risks me getting fired, I'd want to put him under surveillance and do something else beyond the call and catch him in the act and take pictures or use a camera. Because, like, if you were a cop and you go into some house, right, and you can tell one person, somebody there is lying, and you know they're lying, but you can't do nothing about it or whatever, too. And pretend like if you were a cop, just like I said, if I figured if I couldn't really do the job, but if I figured, I'd say I can do it the right way, but it wouldn't be all easy, because if you know somebody's lying, and like right away they're lying, I advocate surveillance to that degree, like, because if something is going on too repeatedly, right, and I mean, if you wanted to get a situation taken care of, like domestic, if cops have to be somewhere like a bunch of times, maybe like a little bit of surveillance like that could be an answer, so you can find out who's lying and who's not. How do you know the wife ain't being a real bitch and then like threatening domestic violence and doing shit like playing that card just to keep him in line? And you get psychotic women that are like that. But then a guy, what if he's being the abuser, whatever, and then you want to make sure that you don't have some brat kid that just wants to go out and not come home like supposed to and smoke crack and just do whatever he pleases, and he ain't just playing the abuse card just to get even with parents and shit like that. And there's a lot of abuse that it's true, the father or the living boyfriend is an asshole, but then he'll act all nice and then kind of worm his way out of it, and the woman's there like because the neighbors called the cops, and then the woman is too scared to say anything, and she doesn't hardly do any of the talking, and unless something goes on, and even if the woman did say something, the cops do a limited thing, the guy will just retaliate or some kind of thing like that. I think in a lot of cases you have to have, I mean, not for citizens, like government doing that with citizens for every damn little thing. I mean, to pick on people that don't agree with this new progressive government that they're trying to ease people into, and some people believe what government should turn into for a common good, and they want to hurry it along and maybe intimidating other people from disagreeing with it. Some people don't want government in everything, right? Because, and then there's the other side that wants government and surveillance everywhere because they think it'll protect them from all the terrorists and all the crime and robbers. But there's another thing that always says, too, there's a saying, too, we become the enemy when freedom dies for security. And it's also a song by the metal band Nuclear Assault. We become the enemy when freedom dies for security. I still agree with that, but only on terms, say domestic kind of violence, and there is some kinds of crime where people are stalking too. And I see in documentaries and things on TV about stalking. The police can't or won't do nothing about it because I think in a lot of cases for stalking, you could put, if you don't want to have a plain car cop, stake something out, because if they think you're going to kill somebody, have a camera there. Oh, they won't do that for a stalker or somebody's ex-husband or or boyfriend there that wants to kill somebody and could be a danger to the kids, it seems almost like authorities are reluctant to do that. And they could put that under surveillance if they know there's a known stalker that's going to kill somebody. Oh, but they'll do that shit that the CIA guy blew the whistle on and put all citizens under surveillance, you know, with the phones and, tap everybody's phones and keep all phone records. I think something's wrong with this picture there. If they can do that shit with the phone records, which that CIA guy blew the whistle on and there he's on the run, something is definitely wrong that the CIA guy had to blow the whistle on that. But, they won't do any such surveillance, which they can catch stalkers and certain kind of people. The police just don't do anything, and if there's somebody like the stalker comes there, they know when the police come, and they even got police radios. I mean, they can put a camera and surveillance and catch the guy plain and simple, even without because the equipment people got now, they could, without even staking the place out. But if they wanted to stake the place out with plane car cops or whatever, why not? But, there's a lot of cases, but, if they say you're at another political side that somebody doesn't like, they'll get a plane car cop to stake you out. They'll even get the government to tap your phone. That's what I mean. There's a double standard here. Something's wrong with the picture. Because, like in my book, if I was like even the police officer, how the hell hard is it to get plane car cop and stake out a place when you know some stalker is going to kill somebody? Plus, you'd be able to use the surveillance to find out if somebody's lying or not. I mean, you can do that, and see what I mean? You see what I'm trying to say here, Oh, yeah, they have no problems with putting regular citizens under surveillance, like that CIA guy blew the whistle on, but they don't seem to care about using the same surveillance, which they can find out if somebody's lying or not, or these dangerous stalkers like people, that are a danger to somebody's kids or whatever, like the ex-husband or boyfriend that gets, kicked out of the place, that's very dangerous and abusive, and when the cop gets called, in certain cases with stalkers, the cop will just, they know right away, because they can hear, they got, even bad people got police radios too, and they got a car that comes, every time somebody calls the cops, a car with a light on it that says police, real big on the door. Oh, geez, and they wonder why, the stalker or the bad person that's stalking somebody is just gone all the time. I mean, easy to get a police radio, and then if you have a police car all the time, people don't like unmarked police cars too, but if they're used for the right reasons, they can really catch the people. But they'll use unmarked police cars for other things. Yeah, I totally agree there, that people don't deserve it, but you notice how reluctant they are to use unmarked police cars and shit like that and surveillance on something that could save lives. I mean, people like you and me can figure that out. It's a no-brainer. But why do they go out of their way to tap everybody's phone and keep people's phone records, in which that CIA guy blew the whistle on? I think I might have been a little bit repetitive here, but I kind of got stuck in a loop a little bit there, making sure you guys see what I mean. I got caught in a loop, I think. But alright, if I repeated myself, I trying to see how important this is with you guys. It's probably a no-brainer. You guys know this already, but that's what I'm stressing big time, that how the hell hard is it? I mean, too. So you almost got to see what people hate more. It's almost like they hate people's personal freedom more than dangerous stalkers, or danger to somebody's kids and stuff like that, really, you know what I mean? But then some idiots on YouTube think gun control will save the lives of children, you know what I mean? But yeah, surveillance, if it's done the right way, there's people like you and me can probably catch bad people and things like that with surveillance. I mean, it's so easy. We can put in our surveillance in our own houses these days because the technology is there. You and me can buy it now.